Example 4. So G is going to be 9. Remember, these letters don't mean anything. It's just a name for that. G is 19 and 27. H is 22 and 16. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We're going to sub in the numbers. With some minuses in between. So y2, that was an ugly 2. y2. So y2 is 16 minus 27. That's going to be different. And 22 minus 19. So 16 minus 27. 16 minus 27. Negative 11. Over 3. And that's fine. We could just leave it like that. What does this mean? It means that if we were going to graph it, of course, that it's going down to the right. But that's the slope. So the slope in this case is negative 11 over 3. So let's say I is, okay, so now we have some negative numbers that are going to pop in. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. M, which is the letter we're using for slope, for no good reason, is Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. So Y2 is 9, and then we have the minus, and we subtract 4. So far so good. X2 is also 4. Subtract. But what do we subtract here? We're actually subtracting x1. So we're subtracting negative 3. So notice we have the minus from the formula, and we also subtract negative 3. So what does that come? I'm going to kind of do one extra step here. This becomes 9 minus 4, and 4 minus negative 3 is the same thing as 4 plus 3, which gives us 9 minus 4 is 5, and 4 plus 3 is 7. So the slope in this case is 5 over 7. But the thing to notice, of course, was how we treated negative numbers, and how we did not forget that the formula has a minus in it. K is minus 4 and minus 3. L is minus 11 and 5. So we have a lot of negatives going on here. So slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We should label some stuff. So this is going to be x1, y1. This is going to be the x and y of the second point. So the slope is going to be y2 is 5. Subtract. Y1 is negative 3. X2 is negative 11. Subtract. And X1 is negative 4. So it's 5 minus negative 3, the y2 minus y1, and x2 minus x1 minus negative 11 minus negative 4. For some people with your calculators, you could just type that in. Just in case you can't, I'm going to turn these things into pluses, but you don't have to do this step. You could just plug that in. So that becomes 5 over 3, negative 11 minus minus plus 4. So m becomes 5 plus 3 is 8, negative 11 plus 4 is negative 7. And traditionally, we don't keep negatives on the bottom in math. So we either move them to, so the answer would be either we bring the negative to the top, or we kind of keep it in the middle. But for a variety of reasons, we don't like to have the negative on the bottom. Okay, one last example. This is more practice, so after I write it, definitely pause the video and try to do it yourself before you see the answer. So you've paused it, and you've come back with an answer. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let's do this one really fast. So I'm gonna in my head say x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2 is minus 10 minus 6 over x2 is negative 1 minus x1, which is 2. So m is minus 10 plus 6 over negative 1 minus 2. Negative 10 plus 6 is negative 4. Minus 1, negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. And when you have a negative over negative, it becomes a positive. So the slope here is 4/3.